Most people think procrastination means you're lazy, but that's not the truth. The truth is much deeper. You're not lazy. You're avoiding something that feels uncomfortable. And until you understand that, procrastination will keep controlling your life again and again. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover why you actually procrastinate and 4 powerful principles that can help you break the cycle for good. And here's the interesting part. If you apply even one of these ideas properly, your ability to take action will change almost immediately. Let's start with the first idea, the avoidance loop. Most people believe procrastination is a time management problem, but it isn't. It's an emotional problem. You don't delay tasks because you don't have time. You delay them because they make you feel uncomfortable. Think about the last task you avoided. Maybe it was studying, working out, starting a project, or even sending an important message. The reason you delayed it probably wasn't because you couldn't do it. It was because the task triggered a feeling you didn't like. Maybe it was fear of failure. Maybe you were afraid people would judge your work. Maybe you felt overwhelmed because the task looked too big. Or maybe you were scared that you wouldn't do it perfectly. Your brain doesn't really care about your goals. Your brain cares about safety. And whenever something feels difficult, uncertain, or stressful, your brain tries to protect you, so it pushes you toward comfort instead. You pick up your phone, you scroll social media, you watch another video, you grab something to eat, or you simply tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. And for a moment, you feel relief. The stress disappears. But here's the dangerous part. Every time you escape the task, you train your brain to escape faster next time. This creates a loop. Task creates discomfort. Discomfort leads to distraction. Distraction gives temporary relief. Relief turns into guilt, and then the cycle repeats again the next day. If you really want to stop procrastinating, you don't fight laziness, you interrupt this loop. The moment you feel resistance toward a task, that's actually the signal to start, not to stop. Now let's talk about the second principle that can completely change how you begin tasks. It's called the 5-minute entry rule. Most people don't procrastinate because a task is impossible. They procrastinate because starting feels heavy. Think about it. When you imagine doing a task, your brain imagines the whole process, hours of work, stress, effort, and that mental weight makes the task feel huge. So the solution is simple. Remove the weight of the beginning. The rule is very easy. Commit to doing the task for just 5 minutes. Not finishing it, not doing it perfectly, just 5 minutes. Anyone can handle 5 minutes. Why does this work? Because action reduces anxiety. When you start moving, your brain switches from thinking mode to action mode, and once momentum begins, fear starts to fade. Most of the time, once you begin, you'll keep going longer than 5 minutes anyway. But even if you stop after 5 minutes, you still win because you broke the avoidance pattern. Procrastination survives on delay, but it dies the moment you take action. A small start can create a huge shift. Now let's move to the third principle, which is something most people completely ignore. Reduce friction. Many people believe motivation is the key to productivity, but motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel driven, other days you feel tired and distracted. Instead of depending on motivation, smart people design their environment. Your environment quietly controls your behavior. If your phone is next to you while you work, you will check it. If your workspace is messy, your mind will feel distracted. If starting a task requires 10 setup steps, you'll delay it without even realizing it. So the solution is simple. Make starting easier than quitting. If you want to go to the gym in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to work on your laptop, open the document before you begin. If you want to focus, put your phone in another room. Small changes in your environment remove the resistance that causes procrastination. High performers don't always have stronger willpower. They simply remove distractions before they become a problem. When the productive path is easier than the lazy path, your brain naturally chooses the productive one. And now we reach the fourth and most powerful principle, identity shift. This is where real change happens. As long as you keep telling yourself, "I'm such a procrastinator," your brain will continue behaving like one. Your identity controls your actions. If you see yourself as someone who delays things, you'll keep delaying them. But if you change the story you tell yourself, your behavior begins to change too. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," say something different. Say, "I'm someone who takes action." That small shift in language can create a massive shift in behavior. Every time you act immediately instead of delaying, you cast a vote for that identity. You collect proof that you're someone who executes. Over time, that proof becomes your new self-image. And once you see yourself as a person who takes action, procrastination starts losing its power, because now delaying feels strange. It feels out of character. At that point, productivity is no longer about forcing yourself to work. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally takes action. And now I want to ask you something honestly. What is the one thing you've been delaying for weeks that you know would improve your life? Maybe it's starting that YouTube channel. Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe it's studying seriously. Maybe it's launching the business idea you've been thinking about for months. You already know what it is. The question is, why haven't you started yet? For a moment, be honest with yourself. What's the thing you keep telling yourself you'll start soon? Type it in the comments. Say it out loud. Face it, because the moment you name it, it stops being a vague idea in your head and becomes a real decision. And sometimes, one honest decision is all it takes to change everything.
And here's something most people don't realize. The life you want is usually hidden behind the tasks you keep avoiding. The difficult conversation, the first video upload, the first workout, the first page of studying. These things look small, but they are the doors to a completely different version of your life. Every time you delay them, you delay the future you want. But the moment you take action, even imperfect action, you move one step closer to becoming the person you know you can be. Remember this. Progress is not built by giant bursts of motivation. It is built by small moments where you choose action instead of comfort. 5 minutes today, a small step tomorrow, a little more the next day. Over time, those small actions compound into massive results. The people you admire are not always more talented or smarter. They simply develop the habit of starting before they feel ready. So, starting today, make a simple rule for yourself. When you feel resistance, that is your signal to move, not to escape. Take the smallest possible step and begin. Because the truth is, the longer you wait, the heavier it feels. But once you start, the weight begins to disappear. And one day you'll look back and realize the thing you feared the most was simply the first step.